morning, everybody that's in the room. I know I started early today. I meant to do that. Like I was telling Patricia Jackson. Hi, Patricia. I work now. So tonight I work from I think like 5 to close. So yes, I decided that I would go ahead and cover day 2 of the Joel Guy Jr. trial. We covered day 1 yesterday, so I figured why not just go ahead and use the time off and also keep up with this. This is a case that already happened. The murder actually happened in 2016. For those of you that don't know, Joel Guy Jr. murdered his parents. He stabbed them to death and then cut up his body parts and then put his mother's head in a stock pot and cooked it like soup. That is very disturbing, and this case has been very disturbing to me. I'm going to go ahead and just put up my disclaimer because all of the information is very serious and could be emotional and shocking to some of you out there. I really appreciate that you're here, Patricia. Thank you so much. You're the one who told me about this case, so if I have any questions, I'll ask you because I hadn't heard of it. Sweet Vampy was also telling me that it was a crazy case. So I let her know as well that I would be starting early today. So maybe she'll stop by as well. Let me go ahead and find where I'm at here so I can share the appropriate screen. We're going to go ahead and start with day 2. I'm going to check to see how this video is going to behave. I've been having issues with day 1 of the trial as far as whenever I go to pause to make a comment, it buffers after that, and then I have to close down the tab, start a new one, find where I left off, and then continue. Yesterday when it did that, I just went ahead and let the video play, and if I had anything to say, I would just type it in the chat. I'm not going to do a panel today because I am limited on time. I have some other things that I need to do before work as well. So we're just going to go ahead and watch day 2 of the trial. So let's go ahead and get started. This is called House of Horrors, Trial Day 2. Testimony continues in Joel Guy Jr. trial. This is courtesy of WBIR Channel 10. And I also wanted to mention that yesterday what we saw is Joel Guy Jr.'s family members take the stand, and they testified that his parents had talked to them about cutting off Joel Guy Jr. You see, he was living off of his parents. He was a full-grown adult. He was living, I'm guessing, in an apartment. I think I heard it was an apartment, and he was going to school, which would have been a good thing, but it looks like he was dragging out college as much as he could, not really trying to finish and graduate so that he could start working and making his own money. I think he thought he was just going to do college for the rest of his life. From what I understand, his mom had actually taken on a second job just so that she could pay for his lifestyle, and they were downsizing. His parents were getting ready to retire, and they were telling him that they were going to have to cut him off and he was going to have to start making his own way. He goes home for Thanksgiving weekend, and that is when he murdered them. Patricia Jackson says, "You're welcome. Boy, I can't believe some of the things people do. He cooked his mom's head like soup. He left the home with the heater on at 90 degrees. And I know a lot of people don't have like empathy for pets and stuff, especially considering what he did to his parents. But he left the dog in like the laundry room with the heater turned all the way up at like 90 degrees, and that pretty much equivalates, leaving a dog in a hot car. And I mean, it could get to be like 90, 100 degrees plus in there. And when the cops got there, another thing that we saw yesterday was the body cam of the police that got there to do a wellness check because the wife, I think her name is Lisa, her coworker saw that she never got to work, or they had something planned together, and she never made it, so she called for a wellness check. And so we saw the body cam of them getting to the house, going in, and they blurred out some of the things that they found. They found severed hands. They found body parts in those big plastic storage bins with liquid in them. And then we haven't gotten to the part where they found the mom's head in the stock pot. But they did show a lot of blood, and they also showed the clothes that his parents were wearing, and they were cut up. There was a lot of blood, things like that. So when I was looking for the picture to use as a thumbnail, I noticed for day 2 of the trial, it was a surveillance camera. It looked like maybe from Walmart or something like that, of Joel Guy Jr. entering the store. So I'm thinking maybe that's what they're going to talk about today. I'm going to scroll past a little bit just to get an idea. Yeah, I see him at the at the self-checkout counter. It looks like we're going to hear from the police officer that we heard from yesterday, some more law enforcement. There's going to be some pictures, more testimonies, there's a break. It looks like we're going to be hearing more from law enforcement today. Yesterday was more about interviewing or getting testimony from the family. I noticed that Joel Guy Jr. had no remorse or sympathy at all watching his family members take the stand. There's also seems to be some writing. I know Sweet Vampy told me that they talked about his diary. He had a diary. So I think that's going to be that part. But yeah, this is a very heinous, awful, horrible, traumatizing crime to cover. But you know what? This is the world we live in, and this kind of thing does happen. And it's not just in scary movies and scary books and fiction novels and things like that. Like, this is real life, and to me it's very important that we talk about real life. That's what I like. I like to talk about things that happen in the world rather than bullshit drama, if you know what I mean. Patricia Jackson says, I think he killed them over an insurance policy. If I'm not mistaken, he couldn't wait for them to die. Yes, I did hear about that. I'm not too sure where they found that evidence, but I did see, I think it was one of the news reports that I covered, but it was like something like a $500,000 life insurance policy, and he said that with both his parents dead, that he would have all of it to himself. He had a to-do list that said something about knives, and then he also considered killing the dog, and then he considered like taking the dog with him or something like that. I'm not too sure. It was just really weird. It was a lot of information that we covered yesterday. But yes, I did hear about an insurance policy. This guy is sick. He killed his parents because he's lazy and stupid. He left a post-it note I'm guessing they didn't explain it, they just showed it, but it was a post-it note that said something about trying to make it look like it was the father that might have killed his wife, and saying to how do I say it, to cremate him and then to spread his ashes somewhere. I don't know. It was just, this is a really weird case, so I can't wait to get into it so I can learn more about it. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Right now it looks like they are approaching the bench, so we cannot hear what they're saying. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. If it starts to buffer and stuff like that, I'll know, and I'll just let the video play, and I'll do my comments in the chat. So now I'm not hearing anything still. I should. Let me go forward a little bit more. This is when it starts buffering, is when I start messing with the video, when I pause it, when I go forward into it. So I'm not too sure if it's me or if it's them. Okay, here we go. See, look at him. He's over here like laughing, like he's having a good time. That's another thing that we noticed. Hey Reef Wilson, thank you so much for being here. I haven't seen you in a little bit. if you have any questions about the trial, I'm sure Patricia wouldn't mind answering them, or I will too. If I have to do a little research, I will look it up, no problem. But something that I noticed yesterday from day one of this trial is that he just has no remorse whatsoever. He's just, I understand that he also asked for the death penalty from the judge, and the judge said that he didn't have the authority to grant something like that. So it just lets me know that he tried, failed, and then now he just doesn't even want to be bothered with like doing the time. He's laughing and, "Hey, Eddie De Leon, how you doing?" This this is a really cool guy. Let me see. How do I do it? How do I find your channel? I want to promote your channel, Eddie. Let me know how I could search for it. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed, but I want to say it's been a little bit. Oh, here you are. So Eddie De Leon has a channel, and he mostly does karaoke. He does live in another country, so his hours are different from ours. I want to say he goes live like around 3 a.m. my time. So I'm just gonna put karaoke channel on here. If you guys want to subscribe, go for it. I really encourage that because it's a lot of fun. I started working recently, Eddie, so that's why I haven't been able to go to your live streams, because at night our hours are very different, but at night I gotta get my rest in. But I have a day off coming up, I think tomorrow, so I'll try to make it tonight if I can. But thank you so much for being here. Let's see, Patricia said, none, he acting like he killed a rabbit and everything's okay. I caught a few times where he just like rolled his eyes, where he just smirked, where he just kind of like gestured, like he just doesn't care, like he doesn't care to do this. He's just going through the motions. He's just a heartless, soulless son of a bitch, if you don't mind me saying. I hate him. I personally don't like to criticize people by the way like they look and stuff like that, but this guy really puts me off. So once in a while I will make mention of the bald spot on the top of his head and how he looks like the Hunchback of Notre Dame and things like that. So if that puts you off, my apologies. It's just this guy really triggers my anger. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started.
Up here to the witness stand next to Officer Thompson. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in the case now on trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thanks, sir. You may have a seat. Once you're seated, you may remove your mask and testify.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I notice he itches a lot. I don't know if he has
What's your name, sir?
parasites or what the hell's
Andrew
going
Gerard
on.
Wise,
And by whom are you employed?
Walmart stores,
How long have you been employed by Walmart?
17 years.
And what do you currently do for Walmart?
I work with the Asset Protection Division of the company.
If you would, describe to the members of the jury what your duties and responsibilities are as an asset protection manager.
Sure. So we apprehend shoplifters. We help ensure the safety and security of all customers and associates while on the property, assist law enforcement with any requests they may have, and we're also the custodian of records for any kind of incidents or requests that we have.
And as a custodian of the records, does that also include the video surveillance system within Walmart stores?
Yes, it does.
Okay, I want to talk to you about 2016. Were you employed by Walmart at that point, sir?
Yes, I was.
In what particular store?
Turkey Creek in Knoxville, Tennessee.
And at some point, did you get requested by investigator Jeremy McCord to pull up video from a certain date and time, sir?
Yes, I was.
And have you had a chance to look at those videos prior to testifying today?
Yes.
This is probably where he purchased all those liquids. It was like drain cleaner, I think like bleach and stuff like that. But I'm sure we'll see.
Identification of states collected to exhibit 348, 349. Do you recognize those packets?
Yes, I do.
And with regard to exhibit 348, if you could describe what that is.
Sure. This is video surveillance. This is a video snapshot of a customer making a purchase at our store, the Turkey Creek store. Okay. All right.
Give us just a second, folks. The report recording system stopped it.
Okay, they're having technical difficulties. Maybe that's where mine are coming from. This video seems to be playing a lot better than yesterday. Look at his face. He's just like, come on, get it together. Like, what do you mean? Look, he's very bothered right now. He's scrunching up his eyebrows like he's just so annoyed. And I understand he's wearing a spit mask, but this trial happened when coronavirus was already a thing. So I'm not sure if he just opted to use that instead of like the face mask, or maybe they wanted to see his face since he's the man accused of this crime. So maybe they opted to use the spit mask over like what he's wearing. Come on guys, get it together. We don't have all day. Let me skip ahead a little bit.
Short recess.
Oh wow. They're gonna have a recess, so let's skip ahead.
Female exiting our general merchandise exit
There we
of
go.
the Turkey Creek Walmart. And the third video snapshot is the same, but at a different angle.
Okay. And the disc that accompanies that collected exhibit, sir?
Excuse me?
And the disc that accompanies that collected exhibit?
Yes, disc as well.
Would that be the video of the screenshots?
It would.
Okay. And with regard to exhibit 349, if you tell us what that is, sir.
349 is a video disc as well as video snapshots of a male subject entering the grocery side vestibule of Turkey Creek Walmart. Second video snapshot is a close-up profile of the same subject. Third video snapshot is the subject selecting items from our health and beauty aids department. The fourth video snapshot is the subject purchasing items at one of our self-checkouts. Snapshot 5 is the same subject exiting the grocery vestibule after the purchase. Same with video snapshot 6. And 7 is a vehicle with a license plate.
Okay. And the disc that accompanies that collected exhibit, sir, is that the video footage of the snapshots?
Yes.
I feel like he's sitting there going like can't they just let me go? I don't know. I don't know what's going on in his mind, to be honest. I try to relate to anybody, especially like even like criminals and stuff like that. Like I try to step into their shoes and try to imagine what they're thinking. I just feel like, yeah, like he just wants to go home or just go somewhere, anywhere else. He just doesn't want to be there. He doesn't care. He just no conscience, no remorse, no feeling. Like he's just bothered and annoyed.
I'm next going to show you what's in pre-market as states exhibits 351 and 352, sir, and ask if you recognize those.
Yes, I do.
Tell us what exhibit 351 is, sir.
Sure, exhibit 351 is a purchase at our self-checkout, number 46, on November 26, 2016 at 3:35 p.m.
Was that receipt provided to you, or a copy of that receipt provided to you in order to help you identify what register the transactions made at?
Yes, it was.
Okay, with regard to the next exhibit, you can tell us what that is.
Sure, this is also a transaction. This is at one of our attended checkouts where a cashier is actually present. This is register 3 on 11/26/2016 at 12:18 p.m.
And was that receipt provided to you in order to help you identify which register the transaction took place in?
Yes, it was.
Now, at this point, we move in states exhibits 348, 349, 351, and 352. Your Honor, that's to publish just a snippet. This was not the video.
Folks, the Attorney General has published parts of 348 and 349. Again, you can watch the whole video during deliberations if you'd like.
Alright, so we're gonna watch the surveillance video from Walmart where Joel Guy Jr. purchased some of the items that he used to try to cover up the crime. That's his stupid ass right outside, wearing a stupid white shirt and those stupid blue jeans.
Sure, this
shorts.
is video of the male subject entering our grocery vestibule on November 26, 2016 at 3:26 p.m.
He looks like something. I think he looks like those twins from the Alice in Wonderland film, like the most recent
Okay,
one.
this is the same male subject making a purchase at self-check number 46 on November 26, 2016
Like,
at
you can't even
3:34
scan
p.m.
that shit right, idiot. Yes. Pause. Hold on, guys. Tell me he doesn't look like this. He looks like Hey, Southern Way. You caught me in the middle of talking shit. Alright. Hang on. Hold on tight. It's coming. This. Yes or no? Doesn't he look like one of these guys? Stupid shirt, stupid jeans, stupid guy. For real. Alright. You should have seen me the first day. I went in on his bald spot on the top of his head, his stupid profile. Here, before I get sidetracked. Alright, let's go back. But I don't know, I saw him walk into Walmart and I was like, wait a minute, this is familiar to me. Alright, let's continue.
Sure, this is the Turkey Creek General Merchandise vestibule, and there's the female that made the purchase on the other snapshot exiting the store.
He's more scary. Yeah, for sure. I don't think Tweedledee and Tweedledum killed their parents, but who knows? Maybe there's more to the story.
Record affidavit, which was sent to us from a Walmart in Baton Rouge by Leanne Walter Hildebrand. She is the keeper of the records for the loss prevention, or front-end manager, excuse me, and has provided us with a sufficient 902 affidavit. Included in that affidavit is the law enforcement request form, as well as the physical receipt from a transaction that occurred on November 21st, 2016. We'd ask to enter that as State's Exhibit 353.
No, just wait for me. I'll fire it.
But that 353, if it's even that evidence, there won't be a witness here to testify to what it is and provide an affidavit that not being completely sufficient to establish the records or condition, so they will be admitted to your consideration.
Your Honor, we ask also the public to please, through Ms. White, to acknowledge the records that this facility is back to Walmart in Baton Rouge.
Sure, this is a self-checkout at a Walmart store, specifically self-checkout number 47, dated November 21st, 2016 at 3:25 p.m. Yes, it does. This is pretty much an exact layout of a self-checkout register. You got the Walmart blue right at the top there. Behind you'll see a whole bunch of different items and stuff like that that's usually our as seen on TV section next to the self-checkouts, or just one of those last minute item sections. In addition, I can see to the right where he just put his hand, that's a Walmart bag, and I can see some other Walmart bags and stuff to the left hand side there.
So that was November 21st. Let me find out when the murder
We do.
happened.
And that is actually what he is purchasing. It appears to be a blue Sterilite type note.
Okay, so he killed his parents on November 26th. So this is definitely a sign of premeditation.
Well, we pass witness.
No questions, Your Honor.
Thanks, sir. You can sit back if you're good.
Thanks, sir.
Recall, Sandy Campbell.
So, just get it voted.
He looks like a real life Uncle Fester from the Addams Family. Yeah, he does. I found some pictures too where he's looking very like vampiric. I don't know if you guys watch Lost Girl, but there's a vampire on there and he kind of looked like that. I think it was from Lost Girl. Hold on. Lost Girl. No. That guy has at least some color in his skin. I'm thinking of somebody else. Maybe some kind of creature from the X-Files.
Good morning, Dana.
It'll come to me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Officer Campbell, you understand you were still under oath from yesterday?
Correct.
All right, you make it.
In addition to obtaining a video as well as capturing photographs and processing physical evidence, what do you recall collecting pieces of physical evidence throughout the residence?
Throughout the residence, yes,
Specifically, did you collect a soup pot from the kitchen?
I did.
Oh my god.
If I could get item number 18.
That part. I was thinking that they were going to show the body cam of when they actually opened the pot. They blurred everything out. Like, they blurred out the really graphic stuff, but I have a pretty vivid imagination. And then Sweet Vampy was here to tell us what it was that they were blurring out, and oh my god, it was just awful.
How many personnel?
Oh my god, that's the stock pot.
It is the box that contains the stock pot that was on the sale.
This is horrifying.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. Say that again.
Yeah, if you could describe what
It's the box that contains the stock pot that we found on the stove.
you collected.
I did.
Oh, dude. Yeah. That's where he put his mom's head and cooked it like soup. So now that's entered into evidence.
Did you also collect a cell phone now?
Yeah.
If-
So then wait, do you
if
know
it has
anything
my
about this
number, I can't
case?
recall specifically. There was a lot of evidence on that scene.
I could put a summary
It
in the
would.
chat if you want me to. This is only day 2, so you didn't miss too much. I'm pretty sure you'll catch up.
I'm going to show you what's been pre-marked as State Exhibit 355 for identification of record of that.
Yes.
If you would, please do that.
It is the pink cell phone that was on the kitchen counter.
I just need to move that in as State Exhibit 355.
All right, folks, the court has received exhibit 355, which of course be a cell phone. I want to clarify to you, this physical cell phone itself is what is in evidence, not the electronic contents. So, if during deliberations, if you look at that cell phone, you cannot bring out a cord, charge it up, and open it up and go through it, okay? It's just the physical phone that's in evidence.
And Officer Campbell, did you also collect an empty oxycodone pill bottle from the kitchen that were in your photographs?
Yes.
While we're looking for that, ma'am, did you also collect 2 wallets?
Yes, sir.
And from your photographs yesterday, can you describe where those wallets physically were?
Where they were?
Yes.
They were on the table in the eating kitchen. Yes, sir. It's the keys as well as the 2 wallets. Yes. The first wallet. This is the first wallet that was on the table in the kitchen. It's got the driver's license of Lisa Guy in it.
And as part of your duties and responsibilities, you also inventory the contents of that wallet.
That is traditionally what we did. I don't think that I was personally the one who did that for this, in this case. The next item in the bag is a brown man's wallet. And this one has the driver's license of Jill Michael Guy with an address of Golden View Lane. And then there's a set of keys for a Kia vehicle.
Going back to the pill bottle, ma'am. Do you recall where you recovered that pill bottle from?
It should say on the packaging if it's the pill bottle in the kitchen.
Good morning, Terrence Bain. How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Danielle.
Yes, this is the empty prescription bottle that was on the kitchen counter.
Reading that in the States Exhibit 357.
357.
Did you also collect a purse from the same table in the downstairs dining room?
I did, in the eat-in kitchen. That table is where the purse was.
He raises his eyebrows like, oh, fuck this guy.
Yes, sir, this is the purse, the magazine, and then there was some cash sitting on the table as well. This is all 3 of those items.
Did you also collect a doorknob with a real estate lock attached to it?
Yes.
Yes, please. Share my video to your coworkers. Southern Ray.
And 3 marked in States Exhibit 359 identification.
Yes, sir, this is the doorknob with the real estate lock attached to it that was in the kitchen sink. You'll remember in the pictures it was in some fluid.
Good boy, good boy. Thanks, Southern Way. I appreciate that. Okay, so the doorknob was
It's a
missing.
blue real estate lock.
Oh, it's a
with the
real
doorknob.
estate lock.
Half of
I
the
could
doorknob
tell
attached to it.
Sweet Vampy about
Here,
that.
that there's a key or something inside.
So the real estate people would have the key to open that plastic thing, and then the key to the house would be in there, and then that's how they could let themselves in if they ever needed to go in there, I guess show the house or something like that. The doorknob was missing when the police got there to do the wellness check on for his parents.
Where you found that lockbox, did you mention it was in fluid?
Yes, sir.
You recall collecting gloves at the residence at 11434 Golden View Lane.
I do. So these are the two gloves that were on the kitchen counter near the pill bottle. There's two of them in there.
That in the States is 360.
I did.
Well, it's a roll of black trash bags.
Yes. Yes, this is the bleach sprayer that was in the box, the green box on the kitchen floor, and a roll of black plastic trash bags.
Observing, just go up a little bit in the chat and I put a summary. It starts where it says on Saturday, November 26th. Just read my comments from there and then you'll be caught up. Good morning, by the way. Oh, he chopped them up. He stabbed them to death and then chopped up the body parts. And then he boiled the mom's head. Yeah.
Roll of trash bags.
Right now they're going through the evidence that they found in the house when the police got there. They showed the stock pot earlier. It's disturbing.
So this is fingerprint dust from where we
Trisha.
processed it for latent fingerprints.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised though. He's that sick and demented. Mm.
States is 361.
Without objection, I'll need 361.
He's so full of shit. Shut up with your notes. Nobody cares. Look at that bald spot
I
up
did.
there. Just by looking at him, you could tell he didn't even care about himself, like to take care of himself or anything like that. He's just
Yes,
Didn't give a shit
two
about
bottles
life,
of
a
bleach that were in the
spoiled
kitchen
brat.
floor. There, when you first made entry into the residence, that large pile of all that other stuff. There was bottles of bleach in there as well.
cheap
This is
bleach.
the first bottle. That's fingerprint powder.
He looks like Pee Wee Herman. Was Pee Wee Herman ever a vampire in something? Maybe that's who I'm thinking of. But I mean, Pee Wee Herman is like way thinner. But something about like his skin tone, maybe that's what I was thinking of. Like that. Kind of like that. Maybe closer to like this one here. Oh, this was from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, from like the original Buffy. Okay. That's just gonna bug me until I figure out who he reminds me of. There's a vampire he reminds me of. Maybe that was it. If I think of anybody else, I'll show you. Where am I? Okay, let's go back. My apologies.
A bottle of
Halfway.
muriatic acid and baking soda.
I did.
He doesn't have to be. I mean, he could have taken care of himself. He could have tried to maybe get in shape. Maybe gotten some sun. Maybe not been a total asshole. I wonder what he was like. Like, I wonder if he had friends at all.
63, identification, that's if you could-
Was he a virgin?
This is a bag of baking soda and
I'm gonna go with yes.
a bottle of muriatic acid.
How old was he anyways? Okay, I just read something. It said, the murder involved an elaborate plot to stab both parents, dismember and dissolve the remains, and clean and burn down the house, as well as frame the father for the crime. I didn't know that part. He didn't burn down the house, he just left the heater on all the way up. Let me see. I'm trying to find out how old he was. Let's see. I'll figure it out.
This is a baking soda. It's 13.5 pounds.
88.
And this is the bottle of muriatic acid.
Okay, so the murders happened in 2016 and he was born in 88. He was 28 and still in college.
The muriatic acid, is there some volume of substance missing from that bottle?
I don't recall if it was open or not.
Yeah, he was 28. That's crazy.
Projection, it'll be 360.
Oh, okay. I just copy and pasted that part. Is that what I said? Oh yeah, you're right. 28-year-old. Ha. I could have just looked that part up. I
And in the
did
course of
math.
investigation, did you also collect buccal swabs and other DNA swabs from within the residence?
Or he could have
We did
walked
not
into
collect any
traffic.
Buccal swabs
Yeah.
within the residence. Because
Facts.
yeah, those are cheek swabs, but we did collect swabs.
Okay, and did you also collect buccal swabs, not at the residence,
Correct, yes.
specifically from Joel Guy Jr.?
I did.
If I may approach John?
Yeah, math happens. But I wonder if he started college like right out of high school, or if he spent some time not doing anything and then went to college. Because that's crazy if he was in college for like almost 10 years or whatever. No wonder his parents like got frustrated.
And the first one's been pretty much the State's Exhibit 364 for identification. You recognize that there?
I do. This is a set of buccal swabs, which are cheek swabs from the defendant.
And if you would describe to members of the jury what you do when you take buccal swabs from the interior.
Burned it.
Well, we have like just large Q-tips essentially, and then we just gently kind of scrape the inside of the cheek of the person whose swabs we're collecting, so that we have their DNA standard.
Now we move that in as State's Exhibit 364.
It'll be 364.
Next, show you what has been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 365 for identification. You can describe what that package is.
These are swabs that we recovered on scene from the handle and lid of the stock pot that was on the stove.
In the process of taking swabs from a piece of equipment or a pot, how is that different
So in this kind of situation, what we would traditionally do, because the pot surface on the exterior is dry, so we would do a technique that we refer to as wet swab, dry swab, where we would dampen one of the two swabs that come in the set and run the damp one along with the dry one right behind it at the same time on the surface to be swabbed, so that it collects, first moistens, and then the first one moistens and the second one collects the possible DNA, what we refer to as touch DNA.
States Exhibit 365.
The thought of his saliva makes me sick.
States Exhibit 366, identification. Do you recognize that fact?
Do you think he ever even had his first kiss? I bet he's a virgin.
This is 6 sets of buccal swabs from the defendant.
Those swabs that you physically took.
Yes.
Gross.
That is States Exhibit 366. And last showing what's been pre-marked as States Exhibit 367, identification. Do you recognize that fact?
Yes, sir. This is an additional set of buccal swabs from the defendant.
Again, is that people swab that you physically took from the vagina?
Yes, sir.
We move that into States Exhibit 367.
He probably is a virgin, I say. I bet you he wanted to just live at home with his parents and just be like in his 40s and still living at home with his parents.
434 Golden View Lane.
He didn't want to do
on
shit with
November
his life,
28th,
obviously.
29th and 30th of 2016.
Never even got a hug.
I
Dang.
couldn't tell you specifically without looking at the property list to see if there was anything else that I had personally collected.
Right? Like, who would want to go near
That's what it
him?
shows.
Shut up. The fuck are you saying?
Good morning again. The liquid that was in the sink, was that tested, or was that first preserved and second was it tested?
We did collect a sample of it, and I'm not sure if it got sent off for testing or not.
But you did collect a sample of it?
We did.
Thank you.
He waited too long to carry out his
Based on your
plan.
training and experience, did it appear that there was other substance in the sink beyond water?
I thought that it might be water and bleach mixed together, but I have no way of confirming that.
He looks like he talks to himself too. Like, I bet you he was talking himself like through the whole thing. He was just like, okay, now I'm gonna cut you up and I'm gonna put you in this soup. I wonder if he added like ingredients into the soup, or was it just like water and his poor unfortunate mother's head. Why are you smiling, you sick fuck? I'm telling you, dude, this guy is just... I'm surprised they didn't attempt any kind of like mental health situation with him, you know, like an excuse. I'm gonna go forward a little bit because it look... Oh wait, I don't think I need to. I'll just let it play. Oh yeah, and then he keeps like scratching his face, like he's got like parasites growing underneath his skin. He's disgusting.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in case never cannot be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
Your Honor, please, what's the next exhibit number? State your name for the record, please.
Officer Tracy Tassie,
And can you tell the jury what your job is, what your occupation is?
crime scene.
Work for the Knox County Sheriff's Office?
Yes,
And did you work for the Sheriff's Office back in April of 2017?
yes, I did.
And as part of your responsibilities, did you submit an article of evidence from the Golden View Lane address?
I collected evidence at that address.
Okay. May I approach the witness? I'm going to show you exhibit 368 and ask you if you can identify this packaging.
Yes, that is my packaging.
And can you identify what that is for the jury, please?
It is one Oral-B toothbrush that was collected from under the vanity in the master bedroom.
Okay. And when you collected that, what did you do with it afterwards?
We brought it back to the building, packaged it, then it was submitted for DNA.
To the TBI?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Cross-examination. Any objections, please indicate.
Just a continuing objection.
Yes.
No questions.
Thank you, ma'am. You may sit down. You're free to go. Next witness.
see how he itches? I wonder what prison life is like for him. I wonder if he's enjoying himself there. I wonder if at any moment he has ever thought, like, you know what, I should have just finished college and just gotten a job. Or he really just is so deluded that this works for him. Being in jail, not having to worry about making money, not having to pay rent, food, everything. He's still, in a way, maybe in his sick mind, he's still being pampered by not having to work.
Mason David Burkle,
Where are you employed?
Knox County Sheriff's Office.
And were you employed at the sheriff's office back in March of 2017?
I was.
And at some point,
Exactly.
you recall going to the Regional Forensic Center located on Sullins in Knoxville.
Yes, ma'am.
You approached the witness?
I don't think he takes the stand. I don't know, maybe, but I feel like I only did a little bit of research. I'm pretty sure I would have heard
On the
if
day
he
in
had.
question, I was going to pick up a DNA sample.
And I want to show you Exhibit 369 and ask you if you recognize this.
Yes, ma'am.
This your packaging? Can you tell that you're what you picked up? Identified.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. I actually picked this up. It is a DNA card from the forensic center.
Did you return that to the Knox County Sheriff's Office?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
The introduction of 369. Would be 369. Any cross examination?
No question.
Thank you, sir. You step down. You're free to go. Next witness. Yes.
Alright, so they approach the stand and we know that they cut out the audio for that. He actually asked the judge to impose the death penalty on him, but the judge doesn't make that decision. They ended up going with life in prison. Oh my god, he's that sick in my mind. I'm telling you, he probably like talked to himself and he was just like saying stuff like that. He's sick. How could you do that to your parents? Like, I just can't even begin to try to understand. Like, I didn't even get parents that raised me, and his parents supported him. They gave him everything he needed, wanted. They paid for his apartment, his bills, probably his food. I don't think he ever clocked into work
All right,
ever,
folks,
not
our
even
next witness
once.
is going to be somewhat lengthy. We can always take a break and then know their testimony. But before we begin it, does anybody need a break now? So raise your hand. No? Everybody good? All right, Joan, please call your next witness.
They're gonna say no, sir. They do take a break a little bit after this. He had it made. He totally did. I'm sure they paid for his car. I'm sure they were paying for his insurance, his schooling. All he had to do was graduate, and he could just take care of himself, and he didn't want to. Thanks.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in case now on trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Let me get on. I do, sir. Please have a seat, sir. Once you see it, you may remove your mask and testify.
Morning, officer. Tell us your name for the record.
My name is Officer Jeremy T. Walt,
And by whom are you employed?
the Clinton Police Department in Anderson County, Tennessee.
In what capacity?
Patrol.
Okay, I want to talk to you about 2016, sir. Were you employed with the Knox County Sheriff's Department?
Yes, sir.
And in what capacity were you employed at the Knox County Sheriff's Department?
During that time, I was a forensic officer.
And if you would, describe to the members of the jury what kind of training that you undergo as a forensics officer with the Sheriff's Department.
That sounds like a
In
demotion.
2015, I went to the NFA, the National Forensic Academy. It is a 10-week course. You'll go over, just about each week, you'll go over things like crash reconstruction, bullet trajectory, crime scene analysis, just a bunch of very good training.
Any training that has to do with blood spatter?
Yes, sir, there is a course of blood stain analysis.
Okay, and at the time you were forensic officer with the Knox County Sheriff's Department, were you subject to annual retraining or continued training?
Yes, it was kind of like on-job training.
And I specifically want to talk to you about November 28th, 29th, and 30th of 2016. Do
I
you have
agree.
cause on those days to respond to 11434 Golden View Lane here in Knox County?
Yes, sir.
And what was the basis of you responding to that address, sir?
I was a secondary officer or secondary forensic unit, and I responded to it was an after the scene. Basically, everything had been either moved around or removed from the scene when I went there.
And is it fair to say that the physical evidence at that point had been removed?
Correct. There were still evidence per se, is like blood on the walls and stuff like that, but a lot of stuff was moved.
Okay.
Taken.
And what did you do as a secondary officer on that day with regard to the crime scene at 11434 Golden View Lane?
I went to take pictures of some blood that was on the walls all upstairs, like the hallway. There was a back bedroom. There was blood back there.
And have you had a chance to view those photos before testifying today, sir?
Yes.
States exhibits 371 through 451 for identification. I'm going to ask you to kind of thumb through those and tell us what they are, not individually.
I'll go through them and tell you.
Not individually. Do you recognize those photos?
Okay, okay. These are the pictures that I had taken while I was there at the scene.
Very happy to copy the photos you took on November 30th, 2016.
Yes, sir.
We're going to move those in. States exhibits 371 through 451. You guys have published.
No further objection. The exhibits 371 through 451, you may publish.
I hear that sound from my computer. Toot, 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 toot. I think that's when I plug in something like a USB. Alright, so we're gonna look at photographs from the house. Yesterday we saw video of a walkthrough of the house where they found all this blood and chemicals and like bottles of chemicals, and Sweet Vampy told us that the hands were severed and placed somewhere. But all that stuff, all the graphic stuff was blurred
At
out.
the top of the steps, if I'm not mistaken. That's a wall that's to your right, that leading into right there, a little farther to your left, where you see the bedroom. That is, if you're at the top of the steps and you take a left and go all the way down the hall, there's a bedroom back there that's like a workout room, if I'm not mistaken. And this is in that room, and I just took a picture of a door that was in that room. Just another close-up of that. Picture of the blood that was in the area, the largest amount. Just another picture, same area, just different angle, closer up. Same area, just different angle. Just different angle, same area. That's a little bit farther down the wall from that area. Just another picture, different angle.
I think he chased them all around the
This is
house because
back,
there's blood
at the
everywhere.
beginning of the steps. We were starting to take or put tape up for measurements and things. For one, to see just the distance of how high the blood is sometimes, or you can tell by the distance or the angle of how a blood hits the surface. Same thing, just different photo. same thing, different. Here I'm just putting a closer ruler just to show measurements of the angles. Same thing, just different picture of the angles. Closer up. Just another closer picture.
How horrible.
This picture is kind of to show a little bit of a distance to kind of get the whole bloodstain pattern in. Can you repeat the question? It looks to me like a cast off.
Cast off? What does that mean?
Same thing, just taking a closer measured picture of that previous picture, but just in a smaller frame.
When an object swung in an arc
that was the same,
flings blood onto nearby
bloodstain pattern,
surfaces.
just the tail end of it,
Okay.
what you would say.
That's cast off.
This is on the hallway closest to the bedrooms. Just getting a measurement of how high the blood is onto the walls. I think we're just taking a picture just to show how high from the floor. Here, just showing the length of the blood droplets. Same thing, just showing angles and measurements.
Oh my god.
This is back in the workout room. I think we measured off the highest amount of blood that the farthest.
That looks like somebody probably like fell back and maybe they were like this, you know, like they fell back into that corner and they were probably like telling them to stop.
Up that it went, or we can find.
Again, just for clarification, this is after the initial crime scene has been through the rest of
Correct. I think it was a day or so or a couple days afterward, me and Captain Park to just take more pictures of the scene.
Oh, that looks creepy.
Just marking off measurements. Just trying to give a visual of what we were seeing. I mean, it looks busy because there's a lot of cast off. There's impact spatter. So we were just trying to get overall pictures of everything. This photo, we were just taking measurements and showing it looks like could be smearing, like maybe blood transfer. A lot of movement. We were just showing the height of the window. Here we're trying to show the angles of the blood droplets. In which direction they're going. The tail of the blood droplet tells you where it was going. So a lot of times when we're putting these measurements, we're just trying to show you the angle and which direction it was going.
And using the screen before you, if you could mark on there what you're talking about with these tails.
Mark on it. Okay. I'll use this one right here because it's the largest one. I'll use this one right here as the ones I'm.
If you could speak in the microphone.
I'm sorry, I moved away from it. I'll use this one right here is the one I'm referring to. The way the blood droplet hits on the surface, you can look and tell by the angle which way it was going, because the tail will tell you that's where it was going. So it was going this direction. That doesn't really, if that makes sense.
And if you could go into the top right hand of the screen and go to the clear button, sir.
Top right, clear.
Yeah, just do a little green arrow at the top. Tap that on
Oh.
the menu, and then scroll down to the bottom left.
Easy.
Thanks, sir. Next photo.
This is where we were taking swabs, DNA swabs of certain areas. When we do this, we'll take a picture of the swab next to what we're going to take as a sample, and the next picture should be with the same area, but now it should have been wiped. Where it'll
This photo, sir.
correct.
Is that the process that you described?
Yes, sir. That's the same thing I'm showing, that the swab is clean, there's nothing on it. And the next photo will show that the swab has the reddish brown substance. At the time, we didn't know, so we're just making sure. So the next video, or I'm sorry, the next photo will show this area is void of the blood pattern.
And again. For clarification, what you're illustrating this photographs is a pre-swab and then post-swab?
Correct.
And again, sir?
Same thing, just picking random spots out.
I think that was the corner we were talking about, Southern Way. Oh no. Why are you doing this?
This is a photo walking into the front
Here we go.
door.
I'm just gonna, how do I say this? Close down the tab and start again. Hour and 16 minutes. I don't know if it's the video or what the hell. Where am I? D2. And stop screen, and then share again. We're here. Alright, hopefully it stops.
Into the front door, I guess you could call it like a foyer. It splits, goes upstairs to the where the scene actually was. I took a picture of this open foyer just to show just the condition of it as soon as you walk in the door. At the time, I wasn't, as I was standing there, I wasn't quite sure what that was, so I just took a picture of it. I know what it is now. I didn't know what that was, so I took a picture of it also.
Like a scent thing.
These were, I think they were filled with gasoline that was outside in the garage. I think that's where it was.
He did plan to light the house on fire. Yes, please do that.
Just a picture of a table that showed use, that people had been out there.
Where is this table, sir?
I believe that is also in the garage.
I'll call them myself.
I'm just trying to
Bitch them out.
show that there is a liquid inside.
I'll drag them for filth. Drag the soul out of their bodies for doing this to me.
There's liquid in all three of those gas tanks.
Yes, sir.
In this photo, sir?
Just showing the measurement of how much each one of those can hold.
Going back, is it fair to say there's roughly 15 gallons of gas in those three?
Yes, yes, sir. I believe this is a bedroom that is off of that main hallway. If you're upstairs and you take a left, I believe this is one of the bedrooms that's off that hallway. Anytime I take a picture, I just try to take an overall of the surroundings inside the room.
Directing your attention to his bedroom.
The lid.
Left.
That looks like the lid to the plastic container where he was soaking his parents' body parts and chemicals.
I don't remember. I can't remember if I collected those or not. This is just the other side of the bed.
And there's another one under the bed.
A top to like a lid to a Tupperware or plastic tub.
How many tops to plastic tubs did you find in that bedroom?
I think there were two. That one and then the one that was behind the
The door.
closet door.
Next photo.
This is at the top of the stairs, kind of like the open area where it splits to go off the different directions.
Smug look on his face. I hate it. He keeps raising his eyebrows like he's impressed or something, but like that's not enough. Like I bet you that's what he's telling himself. Like I can't wait till they really start getting into how they connected him to the crime. At this point they're just like talking about the evidence that they found.
Exhibit 452 for identification. I ask you if you recognize that package, sir.
Yes. Yes.
You can describe what that is, sir.
It's one of the swabs that was in the pictures.
Say which room that came from.
This one is from the exercise room wall.
And that was depicted in your pictures.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to remove that in as State's Exhibit 452.
I will tell them.
Marked as State's Exhibit 452.
That's exactly what I'm gonna say.
Ask if you recognize that package.
Yes.
Tell us what that is.
It's also another one of the blood samples for collection for DNA. And this one's from the gate.
Is that also depicted in your pictures?
Yes, sir.
Now, at this point, we move that in as State's Exhibit 453. Last one, hand you was remarked as State's Exhibit 454 for identification. We ask if you recognize that package.
Yes. It is also another one of the swab collections from the exercise room wall. Yes, sir.
We move that in as State's Exhibit 454.
Yes, sir.
All are they were located?
No, I cannot recall where I collected them from.
Empty at the time they were collected.
Yes.
Crime scene had been processed by the time they were collected.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
I believe so too. That's exactly what he's gonna do. They're gonna be like, guilty, and he's just gonna be like, and then take him away.
Ask if you recognize this,
Yes.
and if you would describe what this is.
It's a large. It's a large plastic container, like a hard plastic container.
Same plastic container that you collected from 1144 Golden View Lane.
Yes, sir.
And we put this in as States Exhibit 455.
That's where the body parts and the chemicals were in. I don't know how somebody could do this. This is insane. I don't even want to say insane because he is mentally, oh, like, I don't know, like, how do I say, like, he's mentally, like, stable, but then he did something like this. Because there's people that have actual mental illness and they would never do something like this. There's people that have, like, schizophrenia, they hear voices, all kinds of shit, and they're dealing with it. And this guy just did this because he's a
Yes, sir.
spoiled, spiteful
It's
punk.
another one of the large containers, plastic containers.
Is this a container that you collected from 11434 Golden View Lane?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you, sir, at the time you collected them, were the lids separate and apart from the physical, the larger portion of the container?
I don't remember if they were on the top or not.
In your pictures, were they depicted in another room? The lids?
Yes.
At this point, we've moved from the States Exhibit 456.
Okay, so this says he had never worked and had always been supported by his family. He spent one semester at university, then attended a different university right up until the murders. He was ostensibly training to become a plastic surgeon. We dodged a bullet there.
Next on what's been pre-marked as States Exhibit 457. I asked you if you recognize this, sir.
Yes, it's one of the gas cans that was in the garage.
And how many gas cans were in the garage?
There were 3.
Do they all have similar volume content in terms of liquid?
Correct.
And this is the same as the other two?
Yes, that was labeled 1, and we labeled the other ones 1 or 2 and 3.
At this point, you move that in as States Exhibit 457.
What does ostensibly mean?
Alright, folks, up next is our mid-morning break. Once again, do not discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else. You can leave your notebooks in your chairs. We'll take about 10, 15.
It said he ostensibly trained to become a plastic surgeon, and ostensibly means apparently or purportedly, but perhaps not actually. So he wasn't even applying himself in school. He was just an all-around piece of shit everywhere he went. Alright, they're having a break, so let's skip ahead. There's also a book of premeditation. I guess it was like a journal or something where he wrote his plan to kill his parents and destroy their remains.
Thank you for that break. We're ready to resume the state's proof.
We'll see that later.
Would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in the case now on trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, help you God? Please have a seat, sir. Speak in the microphone. Once you're seated, you may remove your mask.
Your Honor, as a preliminary matter, I think we've come to an agreement as to a stipulation as to the expertise of Brad Park as a latent fingerprint examiner.
Brad Park. I am currently retired. Knox County Sheriff's Office.
And you work with forensics, including fingerprints, correct?
Yes, sir.
Does the defense stipulate that Mr. Park is an expert in the area of latent examination?
Fingerprint examination, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Folks, the court is going to recognize Mr. Park as an expert in the area of latent print examinations. And what it means when the court recognizes a witness as an expert, that allows that witness to render their opinion within their area of expertise. Now, just because an expert witness has rendered their opinion does not mean that you are bound to accept it. Just like every other witness, it's your job to determine the weight and credibility to be given to his testimony, but he is considered to be an expert, and so he may render his opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Tell us your name, sir.
Park.
And at some point recently, were you employed by the Knox County Sheriff's Department?
Yes, sir.
And how long did you work for the Sheriff's Department?
Approximately 24 and a half years.
And what assignments did you have over your course of your 24-year career?
When I was first hired, I started in corrections. I was a fingerprint officer in booking. I was then transferred to the then crime scene unit. Went to patrol for several months. I came back to the forensics unit and there until my retirement of last year.
I want to talk to you about November the 28th, 29th, and 30th of 2016. Do you recall working 11434 Golden View Lane on those dates, sir?
Yes, sir.
And what did you do with regard to the crime scene at 11434 Golden View Lane?
My responsibilities were initially to supervise the personnel, to evaluate the scene, resources that we need, all the aspects of processing to make sure it was done the most efficient way, in addition to actually helping process myself.
Okay. And in regard to helping process yourself, did you have cause to lift a palm print from the upstairs guest bathroom?
Yes, sir. It's an image that Officer Finch has scanned in to the AFIC system, responding match. This is not the actual latent card submitted to Officer Finch.
Is that an image of the latent card that was submitted to Officer Finch?
It appears to be, yes, sir.
If you would describe the process of lifting a latent print, particularly from the sink, and how you achieve that?
A latent print is one, it's a print left by your hand, fingers, palms, that's not readily visible at the time. It is a pattern of oil, moisture, grease that you exude from the pores of your skin. You apply fingerprint powder, which is a very fine volcanic ash, and that powder adheres to the ridges where the moisture is or has been left by your fingers or your palms. The powder becomes visible. The pattern, you know, or you assume, you evaluate if it is a fingerprint of value to lift. When you decide that it is, we use lifting tape. Very cautiously, you lay it on the print. It adheres, the adhesiveness sticks to the surface with the print, and you gently peel the tape off whatever surface you're printing. And that gives you the image of the latent print that is now visible, and that's preserved on a latent print card.
And then when you're comparing a latent print to an identified individual, what's the process you go through for that, sir?
Again, Officer Finch was our fingerprint officer, myself as an auxiliary. He would evaluate the latents in any case given to him if it had enough information, pattern, ridge detail, and if he chose that it is of value, we have two different fingerprint systems with the agency. He scans those in, he gives it, he tells the computer, gives it information as to the pattern, if it's a whirl, if it's a loop. He specifically marks individual minutia points, which are individual characteristics on that latent print. Gives it the most information that you can determine, and you submit it for a search. And the database contains hundreds of thousands of fingerprints that Knox County possess through all the agencies when people are booked into our jail, in addition to the database of the FBI. It searches, it tells the operator and gives a respondent. Sometimes they're 9, sometimes they're 12. That respondent list can be filtered, and that is what the computer thinks its most probable match. It's the operator's responsibility to go through each one and to either verify or eliminate that print. And it could be the first respondent, it could not be any of them. You keep searching until you exhausted all measures.
Fingerprints that are maintained in the FBI database, for example, the simple reason that the FBI has your fingerprint, does that automatically mean you've been in trouble, or does the FBI maintain those for other purposes?
There are many purposes: criminal, military, law enforcement, missing persons, background checks. They compile for any reason that anyone needs to be fingerprinted, they maintain that.
And with regard to lifting any prints in this case, is this the only print that you lifted from the crime scene, sir?
I lifted 2.
Now, at this point, we move exhibit 458 in evidence. And as the supervising officer in the forensic unit, once a fingerprint is developed, any fingerprint is analyzed, we then have the responsibility to verify
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry?
Fingerprints.
direct your attention to the board, if you could tell us what we're looking at, sir.
We are looking at a comparison of the latent print versus the known print, palm print, that is in the system. The Joel Guy Jr.
How?
There were a few things I didn't understand that you were saying. This FBI database of prints includes more than people who have prior records, right?
Yes, sir.
And do you know when you get a print like the one you compared, do you know which database it comes from?
I don't, unless he gives it specific parameters to search that or a special request. Typically, it is the criminalistic side, the people have been arrested, unless it's specifically asked for an additional database.
So are you telling the ladies and gentlemen of this jury that Joel Guy had been in the system prior because of some prior criminal activity?
That I do not know for certain.
Uh,
Officer Finch was the one operating and retrieved that print from the system.
And when he retrieves a print, when he gets a possible match, does it indicate the database that it comes from?
I do not, to my knowledge, it doesn't.
Okay. And so do you know the total number of prints in the FBI database?
No, sir.
And then obviously then you don't know which percentage of the total is based on prior criminal history?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was the fingerprint expert. I don't think we got too much out of there other than they found his fingerprint and they matched it to the system. Now we're gonna see some other law enforcement type take the stand, and then, oh, he's gonna be up here for a little bit. And I see fingerprints again. And then some photographs. I don't know what that is. And then some pictures. I think this part's gonna be pretty, like, I wanna say uneventful. There's just gonna be a lot of information, but I don't think so much, like, as details, like, to the crime itself. But I don't know if anybody's in the chat. If you want me to skip it, I could skip it. And then there's gonna be a break. And then over here is where they go back into the house and they're gonna show photographs of what they found. The Walmart receipt.
Tell us your name, sir,
Thomas Finch.
and by whom are you employed?
I'm retired from the sheriff's office.
And how long did you work for the sheriff's department?
28 years.
And when you say sheriff's department, it's Knox County Sheriff's Department?
Yes.
And what roles did you hold over the course of your 28-year career with the sheriff's department?
I worked in jail for the first 5 or so. Worked on the task force for a couple months. Worked in narcotics for almost 2 years and did over 20 years in crime scene.
And what type of training did you receive any time in the crime scene unit?
As far as latent prints go, the basic FBI classification school, latent print development techniques, latent print identification school, advanced palm print identification school, FBI photography school, and the National Forensic Academy. And the last training I had was the Universal Latent Workstation training at the FBI.
And beyond the latent fingerprint training that you've undergone, have you also undergone training on processing crime scenes, working in forensics?
Yes.
And I want to talk to you about the November of 2016. Did you have cause to respond to 11434 Golden View Lane here in Knox County, Tennessee?
Yes, I did.
And did you assist in collecting physical evidence from that crime scene as well as searching for latent fingerprints?
Yes.
Sir, in the course of collecting physical evidence, did you have cause to collect a USMC K-bar knife
Yes.
and 6 spacers from the upstairs guest bathroom?
Yes.
Okay, it looks like he's gonna talk about the evidence that he found, and then there's gonna be like fingerprints. I'm gonna skip ahead to this because I don't know what this is.
Sir, in the course of obtaining the fingerprints, did you also document through photos where those prints were taken from?
Yes.
I'm kind of glad I skipped it. I feel like there's probably going to be a lot of silent pauses and whatnot.
States Exhibits 481 through 510, sir. I'm not going to ask you right now to identify them all individually, but if you could thumb through those and tell me whether or not you recognize them.
Yes. Pictures of partial latent prints on different items.
Fair enough, a copy of the pictures you took with regard to where you captured signatures.
Yes.
We'd have to move in States Exhibits 481 through 510, that's to publish. What's in the first photo, sir?
Oh, a drinking glass.
Next picture.
It's a different angle of the same drinking glass. The drinking glass with a scale in it. That's a package of the Charmin wipes.
And were you ultimately able to obtain a print from the Charmin wipes?
Yes. It's the same Charmin wipes. It's an intermediate shot, and that's the latent fingerprint on the bottom edge of the Charmin wipes.
And directing your attention to the actual latent fingerprint, or what appears to be one, is this the volcanic ash that has been applied?
Yes, it's plain black powder.
Next photo.
That's the tape pack.
And were you ultimately able to obtain a fingerprint from the tape pack?
Yes. So that's an intermediate shot of the tape pack. And that's the partial latent fingerprint on the tape pack.
And again, the same method used in this photo, using the volcanic ash.
Yes. I'd say close up.
A little blurry, but next photo, sir.
That's a kitchen knife, stainless steel kitchen knife. Same kitchen knife with the scale. Same kitchen knife with close up of where the print is. And the print was a scale.
And were you ultimately able to obtain a fingerprint from the blade of the knife?
Yes. I don't believe I was able to match it though.
Would you call that in your field inconclusive?
Yes. That's the glove box.
And were you ultimately able to obtain a print from the BWR glove box?
Yes. That's the underside of the glove box. The close up of where the fingerprint was located. So the same glove box, just different angles. And that's the fingerprint with the scale.
I want to ask you, after you develop the fingerprint, I believe to be a positive match, subject to analysis by another laser print examiner.
Yes.
Did that occur in this case?
Yes.
I hate his face. He's so gross. He's smiling. Fucking idiot. His hair looks stupid as fuck.
I want to ask you about, based on your training and experience, if someone was wearing gloves, would that reduce the likelihood of you obtaining prints on a crime scene?
Yes.
Next, sir, did you have cause to create crime scene diagrams in this case?
Yes.
So while in prison, Joel Guy has stated that he has fantasies of gouging out the eyes of his fellow inmates. He wrote a letter and said, "I'm writing this letter because I don't want to end up with a disciplinary infraction or worse." He's already going to serve 2 life sentences in prison, but he doesn't want to get in more trouble. Then he says he doesn't want to end up with more criminal charges, nor does he logically believe that this gentleman deserves to be blind. And this was 6 days after being convicted of murdering his parents and abusing their corpses. He says, "I don't know what to do. I shouldn't be allowed access to another person while they're unconscious."
I'll show you what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 511 for identification. Ask you to thumb through that.
This is a sketch of the upstairs of the residence on Golden View and the sketch key to go along with it.
Does that include every room in the upstairs of 11434 Golden View Lane?
Yes.
And an accompanying key as to what where in terms of placards and things like that?
Correct.
All right, this company moved that on the evidence.
Someone said that it could be a ploy to get his own jail cell off by himself. But I think he would do it, even if it is a ploy to get his own jail cell. And the reason he asked for the death penalty was going to be in exchange for having his own jail cell. But that didn't work. But he is in a jail cell by himself. He has a minimum of 1 hour out of his cell per day,
Okay.
and that time is alone without other inmates.
As you come up the steps and come the hallway,
He
the
has
master
some
bedroom
privileges.
is at the top. Master bath next to it. It's a guest room, storage room, laundry, bathroom, and exercise room.
And just for clarification, kind of footwear to stand
Okay.
He has privileges as other inmates, such as access to commissary, tablets, and visitation. I don't know who the hell would want to go visit him. But tablets, what the fuck for? He's in prison. He should be deprived of all of that. It's crazy.
Right in this corner.
It got kind of quiet, so I did a little extra research.
Yes. So that's the stairs coming up, the door to the master bedroom and the guest bedroom. That'd be right there. Item 47 is in the area of A. There were so many items that we were going to collect, we had to use an area instead of an actual individual item. That was 2 black Nike tennis shoes with staining and a king cast iron. It's like a doorstop type deal. Item B was item 50, empty bottles of Robic crystal drain opener and 1 empty number 2 sewer line cleaner. There's also item 53, which was 1 empty number 2 sewer line cleaner. Item C, or placard C, was item 51. It's a Kosh Messer stainless steel kitchen knife. Item D was item 52, which was 2 empty containers of number 2 sewer line cleaner. Item E was item 54, 1 pair of universal scissors. Item F on the left-hand side of the screen was 2 black trash bags. Item G was item 56, empty Clorox glove packaging and 1 gray cloth bag.
Let me ask you, sir, are these the placards that have been shown in photographs or everything?
Yes.
And I think we've already seen that, so just let me kind of go through each one, but I just want to kind of establish that this is a sketch of the master bathroom.
Yes.
Moving on to the master bathroom. If you could describe kind of what's in this bathroom.
Okay. The bathtub, toilet, the sink and vanity, and 2 large plastic tubs.
Who's been, Patricia? Did I miss something?
A bed, I believe a dresser, and a nightstand. I can't remember what those 2 items were on the, I don't know, I can't remember if they were dressers or boxes. The bathtub, toilet, and the sink. That was the, it's a exercise machine. I believe there was, without referring to the picture, I can't remember what these items were. Yes.
Hey, Jinxie. Good morning. Glad you're here. So far, we saw video of Joel Guy at Walmart purchasing some items. He used the self-checkout. I guess he thought they wouldn't catch him on video. He's an idiot.
Collect that print.
Correct.
How long that print stays depends on what might interact with it. If the print's outside, is it going to be rained on, right?
Correct.
If it's inside, something like this, it depends
Sounds
on when
good.
that surface is going to be touched by someone else
Correct.
or cleaned or anything like that.
Yes.
So when a print is left, you don't really know how long it's been there. Is that right?
Correct.
And a couple of the matches, it looks like you only had 8 points of identification.
Correct.
Others you had more, but on a couple you only had a few points of identification.
Yes.
Thank you, that's all.
Just one question. Can heat play a role?
I missed part of it.
Can heat play a role as to whether or not fingerprints are preserved?
It would depend on the type of heat and the other environmental conditions, humidity.
Heat in levels above 90 degrees?
I've seen the fingerprints baked on the surface when left in sunlight. Thank you.
All right, folks, that takes us to lunchtime. We are going to go ahead and break. Your lunch should be here in just a moment. Once again, do not discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else. Please avoid all media coverage about this case or social media as well, too.
Alright, so they're gonna go on break. Let's skip ahead and find where we're at. Okay.
Officer Shaver, you can go ahead and bring them down. You can come on up here. You just stand there by the wall. We
Okay, so the jury's not even in the room yet. Let's skip ahead.
Yeah, I got you. So what are these supplemental to? Which stack was it?
This was Jeremy Keywald's photo.
That's better.
State your name for the record, please.
Officer Rachel Sandlin.
Hey.
In November of 2016, were you working for the sheriff's office?
Yes, I was.
And were you assigned to the forensics unit?
Yes, I was.
And did you work the scene of the Guy homicides?
Yes, I did.
Can you briefly describe what you did in response to your call there?
I was one of the original responding forensic officers. I photographed several items in the scene, the scene throughout. Okay. The entirety of the scene, photographed the entirety of the scene, as well as several items of evidence throughout, assisted in collecting those items of evidence. And on that day, majority just that, but then responded several other days as well to continue collection of evidence and photographing.
And on November the 30th of 2016, did you have an opportunity to review some property that had been confiscated in the property division of the sheriff's office?
Yes.
And did you take photographs of articles that you inventoried at that time?
Get it together, Rachel. Stop screwing around.
And did you go back to Golden View at a later date, December the 1st, 2016?
I did.
And what did you do when you were there on December the 1st?
On December the 1st, I responded to Cedar Bluff Towing, as well as the scene back at Golden View. But as far as the scene at Golden View, I continued to photograph additional items in the scene, and continued to collect additional items of evidence from the scene.
On December the 3rd, 2016, did you visit a location on Hillside?
I did.
And can you tell the jury what you did when you went to that residence? Was that the residence of Michelle Dennison Tyler?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what you did when you responded to her house?
On the day of arriving at the 3824 Hillside Terrace Lane, with Detectives McCord and Sanders, I photographed.
I'm glad he didn't catch the house on fire because the dog was in there. It's bad enough that he was left for days in 90-degree heat with probably no food and water. I know a lot of people don't care about the animals, especially after what happened to his parents, but to me, all living life matters.
2016, and ask you if you further photographed evidence that was collected in property at the sheriff's office.
I did. I arrived at the property unit, the Knox County Detention Facility, the property unit, and photographed.
Except for Joe Guy Jr., he can eat shit for all I care. His life doesn't matter.
May I approach the witness? These are 11 photographs, and I would like you to look through those and tell me if you recognize those. Are those yours?
Yes.
Okay, and can you tell that jury who was with you when you were collecting these, when you were taking these photographs?
On which day?
On the 28th.
On the 28th. The entirety of everyone who was with me, or just at?
Yes.
Okay. Several people there that day. Officer Sandy Campbell, Sergeant Mackenzie Alleman, Detective McCord was there. Yes. Quite a complex scene.
Could Your Honor please publish these photographs that she has identified as being her own? We're going to go through these very quickly, and just if you could just
525 should be the next round. We got
can you describe what's depicted in that?
This would be the exterior view of the residence at 11434 Golden View Lane.
Next photo. And the next one?
This is an area directly to your left, entering the garage at that residence, sort of breakfast nook type area.
Okay. And were these articles taken into evidence and later inventory?
Yes.
Next photo. Including the wallet and the wallets that you see.
Correct. Later inventoried and photographed.
And I want to ask you to please tell the jury what this photograph depicts.
This would be the stovetop display on the stove in the kitchen to the right of your entry in the, from the garage area. And it's just depicting the state of the stovetop and positions of the knobs and such as I arrived to it and photographed it initially.
The next photo. Does
Same,
this indicate
just-
that the stove is in operation when you were there?
Yes,
Front
there's
right.
on the previous photo there's a like the hot cooktop light, and then this is the other side of that, and appears to be in the on position.
Okay. And next photo. And could you describe what this photograph depicts?
This photograph is an door that leads out to an exterior in the living room area.
Is there a space heater that's also depicted in this photo?
Yes, there to the right of the door.
Okay. And do you recall whether or not that space heater was operating when you first arrived on the scene?
I do not recall right off. I believe I have closer photographs of that space heater to determine.
Did you see animal waste or signs that, I hope it's animal waste, but did you see
There
signs
appeared
of
to be
animal
some
waste on the
waste.
carpet?
Yes, and I believe I have additional closer photographs of that. But yes, as you can kind of see in the photo there.
Next photo. And did you note the temperature? How did the house feel to you?
We saw all of this already. A different officer took pictures. This looks different.
We've created in our system to track all of our evidence, and item number 9, a purse and contents, including money.
Okay. Next, and it indicates, if you could go back, just where it was found and.
Correct, yes. Location of recovery, officer recovered, date and time recovered.
Right, next photo. What does this depict?
That would be everything removed from the bag, just an overall photograph before photographing the contents in detail.
Okay, next photo. And what does this depict?
Just an overall view into the item before removing any items and photographing them in detail as well.
Next number. And this?
The wallet removed from the previous purse.
Okay, next number.
Checkbook opened up, just kind of an inside view of that checkbook.
Next number.
Just a further spread out view of what exactly was in there.
And do those appear to be deposit
Yes,
Tickets
deposit
or-
tickets, yes.
forms? Next number.
Once those deposit tickets are removed, just an overall view of the check book there, giving the last
Next number.
slip on there.
Did you actually find any checks in that wallet or in the checkbook? They would have been photographed had you
Yes.
found them, right? Okay. And can you describe what this photograph depicts?
An item of paper in the purse before removing it to see further detail.
Okay, next number.
That same item of paper just
Grocery
laid out
list.
for a better photograph.
Okay.
It
you've got a
appears to
little
be a grocery list, common
Okay,
grocery
you've got a
list.
screen there. Can you read what's on the grocery list?
Beer, bacon, sausage, Ben & Jerry's pistachio, dog, snacks, Gain, OxyClean, and stain remover.
Okay, next number.
A Walmart receipt from the purse. Yeah.
And that was found in the purse, is that correct?
Correct.
And can you read the date on that receipt?
11/26/16.
That was
And
the
the
day the
timestamp?
murders happened.
12/18.
And where did that receipt originate? What store?
Walmart. It would be Walmart at Parkside Drive
Thank you.
in the Turkey Creek area.
Next number.
He killed them right after that because the groceries were all over the floor.
Correct. The date and time usually
number?
just.
Is that it? Okay. And you can just leave the lights down, Judge, because I've got several more that we're gonna.
I'm thinking since the mom went to buy groceries, Joel probably killed his dad first and then waited for his mom to come home, and then that's when he started to kill her.
I'm gonna.
Yes.
So, can you authenticate these photographs as the ones that you took on November the 30th?
Good morning, Nicolette. How you doing?
Yes.
Next three, so that's gonna be.
That's crazy. His family is like right behind him. That's his sisters right there. I wonder what this is.
And can you identify this?
That is the laptop computer collected from the scene
Okay.
on the 28th.
Next number.
The attached drive as depicted in the original scene photos as well.
Okay. And did you detect any reddish brown staining on this article?
Yes, there appeared to be
Okay. Next
just a
number.
very small amount.
Is that a closer depiction?
Yes.
And that would be exhibit 552. And so we'll look at 553 next and through 554. And can you describe what's depicted on this evidence sticker?
That would be item 92, as well the general description of the item of evidence, of collection location, officer recovering, and date and time as well, and then location of recovery.
Okay. And is that location the guest bathroom in the residence?
Correct. The upstairs hallway bathroom.
I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back, but I'm just gonna let it play.
Can you tell the jury what this photograph depicts?
Just upon opening the bag itself, just a overall photograph of the contents inside before photographing anything in further detail.
Okay. And the next photograph is 555. And what does that photograph depict?
A container of red skin potato salad from the Walmart deli.
Okay, and again, that was found in the guest bathroom in the Walmart bag
Correct.
on the,
Yes.
on the kitchen, on the counter in the bathroom, is that correct?
Correct. In the hallway bathroom, yes.
Okay. Now I want to direct your attention to Exhibit 556, I think. And ask you if you can identify this.
Item 37, collected by Officer Campbell. Again, just an overall, like our description label
Okay,
with
where-
contents.
What are you,
These items.
what's the location of this?
So these items are in the foyer floor, the main entry to the home, grocery items that were found there at that front door inside of the residence.
Okay, next number, which would be 557. And what does that photograph depict?
Again, an open bag and then an overall view of the contents inside before any further photographs
Okay,
are taken.
and does that appear to be luncheon meat?
It does.
Okay.
Appears to be
And I
smoked
want-
turkey breast.
Direct your attention to the next photograph, which was 558. And was
Um,
that also found in the foyer?
Correct, in the groceries, sausage, Jimmy Dean sausage.
Could that also be described as a perishable item?
Yes,
The next
as
number
many
is
of the items were in the groceries.
559.
3 packs of bacon, again, amongst those grocery items in the foyer.
560.
Again, just an overall view of what is in that evidence bag before further detailed photographs. So, appears to-
561.
appears to be Ben and Jerry's pistachio ice cream and Mayfield Brown Cow's ice cream. Again, perishable items found in the groceries.
Okay. And we'll go on to the next exhibit. And again, these are things that you photographed on November the 30th of 2016. Is that correct?
Yes, inside the forensic lab.
All right. So can you tell us
Excuse me.
what is depicted in Exhibit 562?
It's a maroon backpack. I would have to find the exact item number from there, but just an overall view of that maroon backpack before any contents are photographed or removed.
And 563?
Just an open view of the front zipper pocket and the contents as they lay.
564?
Close up just to depict that there is appears to be a calculator in that pocket.
565?
That calculator removed and an overall photograph of it.
566?
The calculator has removable cover, so that cover is removed and just an overall view of that calculator.
Okay, 567?
An overall view of the larger pocket of the backpack, opened and photographed.
568?
Close-up view of what appears to be an instruction manual in the backpack for a residential gas water heater.
569? Let me turn that up right. And is that just
Uh,
part of the same document?
Yes, an anatomy of the gas water heater.
Okay. 570? Did you look for a date and timestamp on that?
Yes,
And what is
because
that?
it appears to be a printed out item, so we photographed that, or I photographed that.
And what
And that
is-
would be November 23rd, 2016 at 4:12 p.m.
All right. We want to go to 571.
Again, another overall view of the items within the larger pocket of the backpack.
Okay. And can you describe what you see in that photograph?
There were multiple books and a notebook with a pen.
All right. Going to go to 572. Can you describe what this
This
photograph
would be that black
depicts?
excuse me, this would be that black notebook from the large pocket of the backpack laid out. Just an open view of it and what appears to be the first item of content. Just a syllabus appears for a class, Madness in Medicine.
And is there a time, any way to distinguish the time for this? Under syllabus, is there a date? Or-
Yes, syllabus from fall 2016.
Okay, 573.
It appeared to be mathematic homework or problems, math problems.
Okay, 574.
Like a standard Scantron type sheet for test taking. And
575.
a blue book from a co-op bookstore in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Excuse me.
All right. 576. Turn that around.
These would be the items in the large pocket of the backpack laid out for display, since they're, once you open it, there were multiple books and things. So everything from the, and the calculator from the front pocket, everything from the backpack laid out in an overall view to see the contents.
So that picture depicts the contents of the backpack.
Correct.
Okay. 577. Is that just a closer view?
Close up of the umbrella and the calculator from the backpack and a couple of the books.
578.
A cord and mouse and a couple of the books from the backpack. Just again, some close-ups.
579.
Close-up of the notebook from the backpack.
580.
A content page of the notebook from the backpack.
Okay. Can you increase the size on this, please? And you've got a screen. Would you read from your screen, please? What is depicted on this page of the photograph you took?
Yes. Get killing knives. Quick, multiple. Get
Is that
carving.
quick, or is that
Quick.
Q-U-I? Is that a C or is it an E?
Quiet. Yes, it could be. Yes. I'm sorry. It appears to be an ET. Yes. Multiple. Get carving knives to make small pieces. Get sledgehammer. Crush bones. Bring blender and food grinder. Grind meat.
Keep going.
Get bleach. Denature proteins. Get plastic bin for denaturation process.
Keep going.
Does not matter where they're killed. Just get rid of bloody spots to prevent evidence of time of death, not the mattress or the couches. Get rid of bodies inside house. There and my DNA already there. And then there's a part that's scratched out. Open up doggy door to provide entryway.
Can you make out the?
It appears he needs to be, I can't make out that word, not intruder.
Next line.
Flush chunks down toilet, not garbage disposal. Get plastic sheeting for disposal process. And then the part that's crossed out, get hollow point bullets just in case. Will be seen buying bullets, just use computer room gun. Check to make sure there are bullets. Last resort. He's not alive to claim her half of the insurance. Money, and then an arrow, all mine, 500,000. Flood the house. Covers forensic evidence. Turn heater up as high as it goes. Speeds decomposition. Bleach reacts with luminol, just like blood. Douse area with bleach. Big sprayer. Lie. Trash compactor. Body gives time of death, and an arrow alibi. Don't have to get rid of body if there is no forensic evidence on the body. His fingerprints and DNA.
Okay. Next photograph would be 581, Exhibit 581. And if we could enlarge that and just read from the top, please.
Yes. Minimize things I touch throughout visit. Wear gloves and socks to prevent fingerprints and footprints. Drop something down the garbage disposal to break it. Get him on the ground fixing it. Kill him with the knife. Clean up mess from him before she gets home. Kill her with knife. There's a part that's crossed out. Kill dog after.
What's
And
written
then
above that?
leave alive. Can't read. Are you able to zoom in there?
Okay. And
It appears to be fingerprints.
okay.
And then take dog with you. I can't read the first word. Him with him is in parentheses.
Okay. The next line.
Place her in shower, and then with dog appears to be crossed out. Turn on hot water and point at her to get rid of forensics. Remove her clothes and take them with me for disposal. Place him in plastic bin and use it to get him into the upstairs bathroom. Cut off his arm and plant his flesh under her fingernails. Place her hand with his DNA so that his DNA is not washed away by the shower. Use sodium hydroxide to destroy his soft tissue and soften bones for transport. Baste once every hour to accelerate. Flush sodium hydroxide down the toilet. Wash out bin with handheld shower head and then direct handheld into toilet to flush everything out of the pipes and into the public waterway. Douse killing rooms, kitchen with bleach. Place hair curler with flammable paper and flammable containers of gasoline in 4 locations. His killing room, her killing room, his bathroom, her bathroom. Wipe down areas near killing rooms and bathrooms. Turn heaters up to 90 degrees to melt fingerprints and dry everything. Set her phone to send me a text message late Sunday to prove that I was in BR and she was alive, in quotation marks. Leave, and I can't read the word that's marked out, through front door and wipe down doorknobs. Timer for flammables set for Friday at 10 a.m. Sunlight masks fire, but not smoke. Everyone at work, so they can't report it.
I'm going to show you photograph 582 and ask you to, next one. If you could enlarge that, just read what is depicted in this photograph.
Ultraviolet light shows fingerprints. Check mail before leaving. To get rid of blood, use peroxide. And there's an arrow stating hemoglobin pointed at peroxide and bleach, and then an arrow DNA pointing at bleach.
Okay. And photograph 583.
It appears to be titled Destruction of Bodies, and then composition of body, 20% fat, 20% protein, 55% water, and 5% other compounds.
Okay. Could I have just a second, Judge?
Thank you.
Could you turn the lights up? we're ready. 584.
It appears to be titled Assets. Her assets, her life insurance, 500,000, possibly more with double indemnity. With him missing / dead, I get the whole thing. All her other assets are joint. Go to him if missing, unknown if he is dead.
Hi, Sue Ampy. Good morning. Or
His
almost.
assets
It should be
includes
afternoon
all
for you,
joint
right?
property if missing. When he gets all joint property, also gets joint debt. Knoxville house, homeowner's insurance, possibly, but probably worthless after fire. Owe 100,000. The Sir Gowensville house, appraised at 400,000 plus, worthless with Renee on property. Her car, his SUV, and it seems to be bracketed, not paid for. His boat, his old truck, and that seems to be bracketed with paid for. His 401k, 80,000, possibly less after. Zoom in on that word.
Can you zoom in? Could it be taxes?
It very well could be, yes.
Okay. And the next line?
He could possibly have savings and or investment accounts.
What the fuck?
So the next exhibit would be 585. Sorry, next number. Okay, oh, that was, okay. Next. Okay. Can I find the folder for, if I could have just a second, Judge. Now, Officer Sandlin, you were on, you were at Golden View on November the 28th and
Correct.
in the subsequent days. And based upon what you just read, did you find evidence at the scene that corresponded with things that were noted in that writing?
Yes.
And did you think about that when you were doing this inventory search and when you discovered this notebook?
Yes, the backpack was collected as is, and then later, obviously, photographed in the lab. And upon reading the things in that backpack, they corresponded to several of the items that were collected by us
And
throughout the
observed
house.
by you?
Yes, observed and collected.
Okay.
Correct. Yes, as
Now-
well observe the temperatures and such that photographs.
Okay. Now I want to direct your attention to the next days, which would be December the 1st, 2016. And I'm going to show you Exhibit 586. Is it 585? Oh, because that was the same one. That's right. Okay, 585. And ask you if you can identify this.
This is a photograph of the fireplace in the living room area at the Golden View address.
Do you know? What will go on? Oh, it doesn't matter. No. And was there a reason that you took a picture of this?
Upon returning to the house after, this is the,
Well, let me show you the next photograph, which would be
Okay.
Exhibit 586.
Ah.
And
so just an overall view then, of first the fireplace before observing any sort of its condition.
okay, were you aware whether or not the pilot light was on when officers first went into the scene?
I am not aware.
Okay. And the next number would be 580, 87. And what is that a photograph of?
That is the water heater. It is in the upstairs area in one of the bedrooms in a closet.
Now, on December the 1st, did you have an opportunity to go to Cedar Bluff Towing?
I did.
And what was the purpose of that visit?
That was to photograph a red Kia Sportage bearing Tennessee tag King 1898 Union.
And did you know that to be Lisa Guy's vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And if I could publish Exhibit 588, is that right, Judge? I always get... And what does this Exhibit 588 depict?
Just an overall view of said vehicle.
Okay. And Exhibit 589?
An open door view of the driver and passenger seat.
Just describe, what is your process when you're photographing a car? What do you do?
I photograph the I walk around the vehicle and photograph the entirety of the exterior of the vehicle, and then opening each door and just kind of photographing an overall view of the inside of the vehicle from each angle of the doors, the condition of the vehicle, what items may be in the vehicle, just an overall views before doing a more thorough photograph of
And so that's the front interior of Lisa Guy's vehicle?
Correct.
Okay.
The driver's seat.
And so Exhibit 590, if you could describe what this photograph depicts?
That would be the rear interior of the same vehicle.
And Exhibit 591?
Items in the floorboard of the vehicle.
Okay. And did you collect those items? Did you look through them?
Look through them, which
The
would
bag?
be depicted in photographs. Yeah. Yes.
Let me show you Exhibit 592.
So receipts from those items.
So did you find those receipts inside the bags that would in the rear interior of Lisa Guy's car?
Yes.
Okay. And if we could enlarge these a bit, Officer Sandlin, could you note?
It's buffering again. I might have to yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just start up a new tab. So 451. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't mess with it. Where am I? History. E2.
Is that right?
Correct.
Is that also on Parkside area?
Move up to the top there. Yes.
Okay. And down at the bottom, if you could just note the dates and the times. First, let's start with the one on the left.
November 26, 2016 at 11:26 a.m.
Okay. And to the right.
November 26, 2016 at
Wow. It's buffering again.
11:23 a.m.
So she appears to have made a couple of purchases. Just
Try this again. Sorry, guys.
a.m.
okay. And to the right.
November 26, 2016 at 11:23 a.m.
So she appears to have made a couple of purchases just a few minutes apart, is that correct?
Oh my god. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna call it a day. Sorry, but something's going on. I don't know if it's my internet, I don't know if it's their video, but I already tried fixing it, like twice. So I will just do a part 2, just make a note of the timestamp of where I left off on day 2. I get out today at like 9:30 and I have tomorrow off, so if I'm not too like tired, I'll go live late. And my apologies, I don't know what's going on. So I'm gonna call it a day for now, you guys. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll switch over to see you next time, and I will see you all next time. Thanks, guys.